can't afford travel. I think you've heard this phrase or even said it yourself. Growing up, I heard this phrase from my parents all the time. I just knew that traveling is a luxury, something for the rich. My parents kept saying, someday, well, maybe next year, but it never happened. I've visited 15 countries in my 23 years, and I know that this belief is bullshit. You can afford travel, and I'm here to prove you wrong. So in this video, I'm going to give you my personal tips that I use that help me to travel no matter how much money I have in my pocket. Number 1. Don't choose your destination. Sounds kinda weird, right? What do you mean I don't get to choose where I'm going? But the thing is, that is exactly what keeps you kind of in a box. When you have flexibility, when you're not fixed on only one destination, it gives you some wiggle room. First thing that I want you to do is to open your notes app and just write a list of cities that you want to visit. I know that you have a bunch of them in mind, and when you start planning your next vacation, just look at your list and start your research. I mean the full research, flight, the accommodation, the average price for food in the city or country. You're gonna account for all of it, and this way you won't go over budget. What I like to start with is plane tickets. You can use Google Flights, you can use Skyscanner, it doesn't matter which one you choose. These sites allow you to get the cheapest, the most affordable options and compare how much of a difference the dates or the destination can make. Me personally, I never know where I want to go. I just have like 10 destinations that I'm checking all the time. And once I see a sweet price, I book it. And don't be afraid to write in your list some mainstream cities like Paris, London. It would surprise you, but you can actually find more affordable options in the bigger cities, the mainstream ones, than in smaller, less popular. I guess my favorite 2 cities that I've traveled for really cheap, it was Paris, and the recent one, it was Copenhagen, because it's the 2 cities that you often hear the stories that they are super expensive. There's no way to save your money going there. But for my trip to Copenhagen, which I spent there 5 days, it cost me around $250, which is not so much if you think about that I live in Ukraine and I also need to get to other country and fly from there. So it's additional cost. I just go to extremes. You don't need to save as much money as me while traveling. And from here, actually, we can jump into my second advice to plan ahead. The most common mistakes people make is they set the days for their vacation and then they start looking for flights. In this case, you have no flexibility. You don't get to choose your flight, so you end up with an expensive ticket and maybe the more expensive hotel. I know that it's actually different for everybody. Different companies have different policies. I know that some people need to apply their vacation days a year in advance, which is crazy. But if you do have an opportunity to book a flight first, do it. It will save you so much money. The same goes for accommodation. If you know that you go into town for these specific days, you can book the hotel ahead. They can give you a better price, but also you can explore other cheaper versions because they're usually the ones to sold out. And if you talk about accommodation, try couchsurfing. I know that this topic itself deserves the whole video, but let's talk about it because this is the reason why I get to travel so cheap. Because when you go traveling, flights and accommodations usually the biggest expense. And if you can lower your expense for accommodation to 0, you're looking at some big savings. You get to stay with a local, get to know him or her, their traditions, maybe even eat the food that they cooked for you. For me, it sounds amazing. I always loved couchsurfing for this part because you get to exchange cultures. I will take a couch surfer over a hotel anytime and not because it's free. And the last thing might be controversial, travel the way you want, not the way you're supposed to. What I mean by that is that in our heads we have some kind of a pattern how we're supposed to travel. We're supposed to take excursions, we're supposed to see all the historical sites that the city has to offer. If we are in Bali or Maldives, we get to stay in a 5-star resort and take a million cute pictures. But the thing is, all these mainstream ways of traveling usually don't represent you. You might like them, you might even enjoy them in the moment, but you can waste money in the process. It's so easy. When I think about my style of traveling, I know that I don't really care about going up the historical tower. If you're doing it strictly for the view, I get it, but in every city you can find better, cheaper, sometimes free options. Really think, do I care so much for this palace to pay 30 euros to go inside? Personally, for me, most of the time, it's enough to just admire it from outside. So when you plan your trip, think, what will I really enjoy in this place? If you're going into some kind of tropical destination and you only care for the beach, do I care about the beach in a 5-star hotel? Or is a cheaper hotel will give me the same experience? If yes, go ahead. If no, think about it. Because the sand is the same everywhere. I get a thrill of getting something cheap. That's just who I am. I have more stories about how I spent 5 euros for an enormous amount of food in a very expensive country than about a castle that I visited. Which is both of these things are equally great, I guess, but I just get more thrill and enjoyment from the first. So when I plan my trip, I just think about what the unique things I can do in this city. What will give me the experience that I will get to talk about all the time? What you think about yourself? What is important for me? What I want to spend my money on? And when I'm okay taking the cheaper option. So my camera died, but thank you so much for watching this video. If you would like to see more content about cheap travel, please write in the comments. Press that subscribe button and see you next week.